Good morning. So it is Friday, and on Friday, as you know, we replace one of our English or maths lessons with an extended science session, exactly as we would do in the classroom. There is a little experiment for us to do today, which you can either follow along with me, but I am going to go and do it in my kitchen for you. So if you don't have the stuff for the experiment, don't panic. It's all like really basic stuff you can find in your kitchen. But if you want to follow along, feel free. It will all become apparent as we go through. Now, this PowerPoint has been a little bit glitchy, so I'm hoping that is going to work. So today we are scientists. And questions for today's lesson, there's just one. What does dissolve mean? So what we're going to do is we're going to do an experiment that is going to look at things that dissolve in water. It will all become apparent as we go on. So today we're going to learn about mixtures, so mixing things together. We're going to learn about substances, so basically the stuff that you're going to put in the water to give it a stir. The solvent, which in this case is always water. As you get older and you do like real kind of chemistry lessons in proper labs in secondary schools, you will use different solvents and different acids, but obviously we should not be playing with those at home. And dissolve, which basically means if you stir something in water, will it sort of almost look like it's disappeared into the water. Okay, so to follow along with our experiment today, you will need the following. So some water in a jug, ideally. And you're going to pour that into 4 glasses, ideally kind of the same size. You'll need a teaspoon of sugar, anything you've got around the house. It doesn't really matter if it's like golden or castor or whatever. A teaspoon of salt. Again, it doesn't really matter if it's like coarse salt or probably don't play with dishwashers salt, but if you've got a parent with you and that's all you've got, that's fine. Teaspoon of flour, again, anything, white, brown, bread, whatever, and just 1 piece of pasta. So if you would like to follow along with the experiment, you can by using those things, and I'll pop them on the website as well. So sometimes in real life we dissolve substances, we dissolve stuff in liquid, so we dissolve stuff in water. So think about times where you might dissolve one substance or liquid in another. So I'm thinking about when you put sugar in tea or coffee, give it a stir, it makes it sweeter. You make fudge or caramel, you will sort of melt together and dissolve in the sugar when you make those, but obviously you need to get those really, really hot. Maybe making a vitamin tablet like a Barocca fizz when you put it into water. Can you think of any more examples? Moving on. So today we're going to conduct an experiment. Pause here, watch the video of me doing the experiment, which is below this one. But the next slide, just in case you can't see it or something, is going to detail what we're actually going to be doing in the experiment. So this is what's going to happen. You are going to line up your 4 glasses of water with roughly an equal amount of water in each. Don't worry too much about like the concept of fair testing here. That's not the point of this. You can add a teaspoon of sugar to the first glass and you're going to give it a stir. Like you maybe say, right, I'm going to do 10 stirs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Does the sugar dissolve or disappear into the water? Then in your second glass, so you're not going to put it in the same glass, you're going to put it in your second glass. You're going to try the same thing again with a teaspoon of salt. So you're going to put it in, give it a stir and see if the salt dissolves. Third glass, do the same thing with your flour. Does the flour dissolve? And finally, you're going to take your piece of pasta, put it in the water, give it a stir. What happens now? So is the pasta soluble in water? Does it dissolve? Don't throw away any of your mixtures because you will need one of them later. So just leave the glasses on your kitchen table or wherever you are with it. So that's what's going to be happening in the video below. So what have we discovered? So you've seen the video. We're going to discover that some substances, such as salt and sugar, are soluble in water, which means they dissolve when we mix them with water. And the water acts as a solvent, which is the dissolving agent. So how would we apply this in real life? So can you think of any other substances that are soluble, so they will dissolve in water? And what about some that are insoluble, so they don't dissolve in water? So just pause here and think of a few. Some substances that are soluble, they will dissolve. Some substances that are insoluble. Pause here because I've got my answers on the next slide. So substances that are soluble in water, things like salt and sugar, obviously. Substances that are insoluble, apparently pepper, no matter how hot you heat water, will not dissolve in water. There we go. Sand, obviously, if you're thinking about a beach. Nail varnish, that's why you need acetone to get it off. And clay. It will kind of like mix together and go muddy, but it won't completely dissolve. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to use what we've learned to make a prediction. So I've given you a load of like substances, so a load of stuff. Do you think they will dissolve in water? So the sugar, predict, will it be soluble in water? You're just going to write yes or no in that box. And reason why I think it, what real life evidence do you have? So we've got sugar, bicarbonate of soda or baking powder, cooking oil, chocolate, coffee, vinegar, candle wax. Pause here, fill out your table. Okay, so this is what we've got. So sugar, I said, yes, it will be dissolvable in water. It's soluble. Yes, because you put sugar in tea. Bicarb of soda, I've said yes, because of its use in baking. Cooking oil, I've said no, because I think it would float on the top of the water. I've seen that, like that's how kind of how a lava lamp works, if you know such a thing. Chocolate, I think yes, probably at hotter temperatures, like on the bake-off or like in hot chocolate. Coffee, definitely, because when you make coffee, it dissolves. Vinegar, I don't think so. I think that would float. In candle wax, no, I don't think so. Okay, so the question that we're going to think about next is it possible? So you're going to take your second glass, which has got your salt in it, and it should have dissolved in the water. So is it possible to get the salt back now it has mixed with the water? We're going to try it, but we need to be very patient with this. So what you're going to do, if you've been following along, is take your salt solution that you've made and just put a few drops of it on a saucer and maybe leave it on a sunny windowsill. But what I want everyone to do is make a prediction. Can we recover? Can we get that salt back from the solution? Why do you think this? And how long roughly do you think it will take? So that's the last thing that we're going to be doing in science today. So I hope you have enjoyed kind of following along with it, and please view the experiment video below.